Hi Internet, what's up? I'm Christiane Cordero and this is the 734 from WCCO. We know most of you are on your way to work, maybe about to head out the door this Friday morning. So let's get you started with today's 7:30 forecast. 32. We're hitting freezing today. Above average is what Riley O'Connor said. 3 p.m. we're expecting 32 degrees and then still mild later tonight at 26. Let's talk about this. Nearly half of people in relationships say that they prefer me time to we time. A survey by one poll says 41% of married people who are married or those who are dating would leave their partner if they didn't get some me time. Makes sense, right? 85% of those surveyed says that time alone was key to a healthy relationship. So how much time away is good? Well, according to the survey, as you see right there, 51 minutes a day. That's about 6 total hours a week. What do you think? How much alone time do you need? More than less than 51 minutes? If you're watching on Facebook, leave a comment right here and we'll get through a few of those in just a moment. Let's get you some news headlines, though. As you get your holiday shopping done this weekend, keep in mind this warning from police. They've seen a string of robberies with shocking similarities. This is disturbing to watch. Police shared this surveillance video. This woman had just finished shopping and was putting stuff in her trunk outside Hmong Village on Sunday afternoon. That's when a thief jumped out of a stolen car, grabbed her purse, which was still wrapped around her arm. And look at this. They struggle. The car drags that woman nearly 75 yards. It's not the only time that this has happened in the capital city. Police say they have received more than 20 reports of similar robberies over the last month.
What we've seen in some of these cases is when the victim fights back, the suspects will hit them or threaten them or intimate that they have a gun.
These victims in these cases are all women 40 and older, alone and carrying purses or bags. If you're carrying a purse, consider keeping it under your jacket or don't carry one at all. If you have any information on these crimes, of course, please give St. Paul Police a call. St. Paul police are awfully busy right now. They are also looking for a Grinch who stole Christmas, or at least a little piece of it. Investigators say someone stole donations from a Salvation Army red kettle. It happened Monday afternoon at the Cub Foods on Clarence Street in St. Paul. Officers told us that the man cut the lock on the kettle, grabbed the cash inside while the Salvation Army bell ringer was on break.
It's a bold crime, number one, to happen at 3:30 in the afternoon. But it's sad in the sense that we're talking about an organization whose sole intent is to help people in need. And to steal from an organization, basically stealing from the people that they're helping, is very sad.
St. Paul Police says this usually happens a few times a year, but this is the first time that's happened this season. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is still holding on to the impeachment articles against President Trump to the Senate. Pelosi says that she's waiting to hear more from Majority Leader Mitch McConnell about how the impeachment trial will be conducted. McConnell says talks are at a deadlock. The sticking point is whether new witnesses would be allowed to testify before the Senate. Procrastinators, the U.S. Postal Service says there's still time to get your holiday packages delivered by Christmas Day, but you got to get them done ASAP. This is the busiest week of the year at the U.S. Postal Service's network distribution center in Eagan. It's open 24/7. Parcels from across Minnesota and western Wisconsin start the journey right here. Isn't that cool, the behind-the-scenes look? Electric eyes scan the addresses, then high-speed conveyors send packages on their way, kicking each one out to their chosen destinations. 365,000 packages were sorted and shipped just on Monday.
This machine will run 7,500 pieces an hour. We'll be working all the way up to early in the morning, and everything that came in today will be processed and delivered for tomorrow morning delivery.
Accurate and timely delivery still depends on customers filling out the addresses clearly. Most delays are due to packages that have to be pulled from the system and sorted manually, something to keep in mind. Here's a look, by the way, at today's shipping deadlines. It's the last day for FedEx 2-day delivery, UPS 2-day air, and first-class mail with the U.S. Post Office. If you're gassing up the car this morning before heading out of town, I've got some good news, I've got some bad news. The good news is you'll pay the cheapest prices of the year. The bad is we're paying more this year than last year. The ugly is you probably don't have a choice but to deal with it. We'll tell you the prices anyways. Here's the price check from AAA this morning. The national average is at $2.55 a gallon. We're doing much better here in Minnesota at $2.40 a gallon. Last year at this time, the weekend before Christmas, we were paying $2.26, so 14 cents higher this year. if you can't do that math. It's the day Star Wars fans have been waiting for. Maybe they're still sleeping in, right? The force is strong with Star Wars fans this morning. They lined up the theaters across the metro area for the premiere of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. The film is the 9th and final film of the Skywalker saga, which began more than 40 years ago. Some of the fans even dressed up as their favorite characters.
Well, I went in not knowing what to really expect, but I felt like it was a pleasant movie. I mean, I still don't know how to process it yet. You know, it's a lot to take in. It's pretty an intense movie.
Disappointing. I'm not sure exactly what I was expecting, but I feel like they eliminated a bunch of lore at the same time as unnecessarily opening other parts of the lore.
Hot take there. This isn't exactly Star Wars, but it is certainly close enough. NASA and Boeing are teaming up with this Starliner rocket that is now headed to the International Space Station, launched this morning. This flight had no crew. In fact, a mannequin is sitting in the pilot's seat. It will dock tomorrow morning, deliver supplies and Christmas treats for the crew on the space station. The hope is this rocket will carry astronauts starting next year. Sometimes we come across stories and they just make you think, you can't make this stuff up. This surveillance video was just released from Texas. It gave police the one clue they needed to solve a number of robberies. Police noticed the only time this robber touched something, it was when he face planted into a locked door trying to get away. They swabbed the door, the DNA was in the system, and bingo, got their man. He's now sitting in jail. Back to today's talker. Alone time. How much do you need? Nearly half of people in relationships say they prefer me time to we time. A survey by one poll says that 41% of married or those who are dating would leave their partner if they didn't get some me time. 85% said that that time alone was the key to a healthy relationship. So we wanted to know, Cole, what do you say?
I say, 51 minutes is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Too much.
About an hour a day. I think that's just healthy overall, even if you're not in a relationship. Just be alone.
And we have Cindy saying the same thing. I need me time every day, maybe about an hour a day. I tend to take it in the evening when I can. Some people can be very tiresome sometimes, and I often need to decompress.
Yeah. There's a lot of noise, right? Even if you're not talking to anybody, you have your phones, you have everything. What else, Cole?
All right, we got my mic working now.
Okay, there we go.
We got my dad saying, alone time, I sometimes don't see a waking soul for days. Makes seeing people all the better. He lives up in Sandstone.
Papa Primo's got it figured out.
Then we have Nina saying, I take a lot of alone time, but I live alone, so it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then we have Becca saying, I would just be happy to go to the bathroom without my toddler. There you go.
Yeah, I have some friends who feel the same way. They were like, sometimes I just go to the restroom just to not be touched by a tiny human. Awesome. Thanks so much, Cole. That's it for now. This is the 7:34 on this Friday morning from WCCO. Most of the Twin Cities are on the go, so why not make us your place for mobile news? We'll be back here on Monday at 7:30 and 4. And until then,